Today, vamos a hablar del tiempo del futuro. We're going to talk about the future tense. Now, the future tense in English, we use the word will, right? Like, I will do this, he will do that, we will go to the party, all right? So we use this word will. Desafortunadamente, o por desgracia, this word will does not exist in Spanish. The word itself does not exist. Instead, we are going to change our verbs. So the verb is what is going to say will, okay? So when you're thinking about the future in English, you're saying this word will, you have to look at what comes next, what comes after it, okay? So for example, if I am going to say, I will arrive at 8, okay? How are we going to say this? Well, we know will does not exist in Spanish, but we know arrive does. And when I look at this, the more important of these two is arrive, right? So how are we going to say it? Well, let's look at our trusty dusty table here. Okay, and just a reminder, here we have yo, and then to, and then we have usted, él, or ella. Then here we have nosotros. And then here we have ustedes or ellos or ellas, right? Okay, so if I'm saying I will arrive, what I'm going to do that makes this even a little bit more special is I have my verb. Okay, so my verb in this case is arrive, which is llegar. And instead of what I do in the present tense or in the past tenses, which is chopping and shopping, right? Instead of taking this AR ending and replacing it with the futuro and el condicional, which we're going to see next week, what we do is add the ending afterwards. Okay, so in English we put the will in front. In Spanish we put the will afterwards. Okay, so think like Baby Yoda. I arrive will at 8. Or arrive I will at 8, right? So if it's yo, it's going to be an A. So this sentence then would be llegaré a las 8. Okay, it's one word, llegaré. One word, not two separate words, one word, llegaré. 2, if you are arriving, it is as. Okay, note we have this tilde, and that just means emphasis, right? So when I say the word, I'm putting my emphasis on that A. So 2, llegarás. One word, llegarás. Usted, él o ella, a. Llegará. Nosotros, hemos. Now, this is the only one that doesn't have a tilde. Llegaremos. It doesn't need it because it naturally has emphasis on this E. Llegaremos. And ustedes, ellos, o ellas, llegarán. Okay? So you might notice a few things that these words have in common, right? So if I look at these, down here, they're all starting with an A, whereas up here, they're starting with an E. Right? Think I, first person, A, and nosotros is first person plural. So they're a little bit different. And then down here we have the on. Okay? So let's look at this with a different word. You might notice llegar ends in an AR, right? However, these endings are going to work no matter what my verb is. Okay? So if I have an ER verb, for example, comer. Okay, and I want to say I won't eat that. I will not eat that, right? No comeré esa comida. Sí, simplemente no la comeré. Comeré. One whole complete word, right? One word, comeré. If it were two, then it would be comerás. Tú comerás de todo. You will eat anything. See? Tú comerás todo. If it is nosotros, it's going to be comeremos. See? Comeremos el pastel. We will eat the cake. See? Comeremos el pastel. Once again, all one word. All right? So, in the future tense, to form the future tense, to say this word will in English, in Spanish, I take my verb, whatever that verb may be, okay, my verb with the pirate ending, so it's ending in R, whether it be ar, or ir, I take my verb, and then I put my ending immediately. Oh, I don't know what I just did. I will put my ending immediately afterwards. Immediately. Okay? There's no space or anything. I put my ending immediately afterwards, depending on who my subject is. All right? Okay? So if my subject, or if my verb, even if my verb is a simple one like ir, right? Or ser. Okay? Será. Okay, será, será. Whatever will be, will be. I know it's Italian, but it's the same in Spanish, right? Será, it will be. Or he will be, or she will be, or you will be. Será. Iran, they will go. Iran. Yeah, just like the country. Iran, they will go. Okay? Or y'all will go. Iran. It just is right on the end. Okay? Now, as we know, with pretty much every tense, there are always exceptions, right? There are always exceptions. There are always irregulars. So I'm going to go over a few of the most common irregulars with you guys, okay? The fun part about the future, the thing that makes it easy is that all of these verbs, right, have the exact same endings. It doesn't matter if it ends in an AR, an ER, or an IR. They all have the same ending, which is pretty fun. Okay, so here we go with our irregulars. Some of our more common irregulars actually aren't that irregular. Okay, so we're going to start with the verb querer. Querer, which means to want. So querer, in its irregular form, is simply, sorry, I'm trying to change the color here. Querer, in its irregular form, is simply combining the R's. That's it. So instead of quererás, we have querrás. So it's just a little bit longer R. Querrás. You can see that they're really not that incredibly different. And if you were to say to somebody, querrás ese pastel? Will you want this cake? They would understand you just fine. They might correct you, but they would understand you, right? Okay, so another one that is pretty common and also irregular is tener. Tener, which means to have, okay? So tener in the future adds a D, okay? And if you have ever had trouble rolling your R's, you may have heard me tell you to pronounce your R more like a D than an R, right? Because when you pronounce it like an you sound incredibly foreign, we'll say. If you pronounce it more like a D, you sound a little bit more natural, right? So tener becomes tendra, right? So like yo tendré tiempo. I will have time. Tendré tiempo instead of tendré tiempo. Okay? Tendré tiempo. Another one that adds in that letter D is poner. Poner becomes pondre, right? Pondremos la mesa. We will set the table. Pondremos la mesa. Another one that also changes like this is venir. Venir means to come, right? So your friend might say, vendrás a la fiesta? Will you come to the party? Vendrás? Okay, pondremos. Well, that's an interesting way to spell pondremos. Pondremos, okay? Venir, vendrás. Another one is poder. Poder, which means to be able to. Now, poder already has a D. So what poder is going to do is simply change where the D, or it's not going to change where the D is. It's just going to get rid of the E. And it becomes podr. See? Como ella podrá hacer el trabajo. And then one more that's going to add this D in it is salir. Salir, which means to go out, right? To go out or to leave is going to become saldr, right? So, for example, ellos saldrán con nosotros. They will come out with us. They will go out with us, or leave with us. Saldrán con nosotros. See? So these are some of the more common irregulars. We have another group that's coming up next. So make sure you get these copied down or pause if you still need to. There is one more, valer, which means to be worth, which becomes valdre, but it's not very common. It's not very popular. You won't see it very often. But one you will see very often is the verb hacer. Hacer, which means to do or to make. So hacer in the future becomes har. Okay? Haré. I will do. I will make. Haré galletas. I will make cookies. Another one that changes like this is decir. Decir, which is to say or to tell, becomes dir. Okay? Mi hijo siempre dirá la verdad. My son will always tell the truth. Not, yeah, it's human nature. So, dirá, haré. So these ones are a little bit more irregular than the others. So with these irregulars, you either need to memorize them or just practice with them. The more you practice, the better you will become. So that is the future tense. The future tense, as I said, that's the formation. So the future tense, as I mentioned at the beginning, is used to say will do something. But one neat thing about the future tense is you can also use it to say might. Okay? So, for example, if I were to say, ¿Dónde está Paco? Where's Paco? And you don't know for sure, but you want to say like, well, he might be. You could just say, estará en el baño. So this is saying, instead of he will be in the bathroom, you're saying he might be in the bathroom. Okay? So if you're looking at a sentence and you're like, wait a minute, the word will here doesn't make any sense. Replace it with the word might, and you might have a better answer. Tendrás una respuesta mejor. Okay? When you're trying to translate from or interpret Spanish to English. All right? If will doesn't make sense, your word is probably might. Okay? So those are a couple uses of the future and the formation of the future. Please let me know if you have any questions.